For me, it's a way of remembering, and I don't think there's anybody in Oklahoma City that was not touched by it.
6 days from now, thousands of runners will toe the starting line for this year's Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon.
Everyone who crosses that finish line has a personal story.
A run to remember the 168 people who lost their lives on April 19th, 1995.
The whole time I'm running, I'm trying to get myself prepared for that moment when I start seeing those faces of those people. It's emotional.
And also to fulfill the marathon's mission as the primary fundraiser for the memorial that honors the victims, survivors, first responders, and everyone changed forever that day.
This is probably the most meaningful marathon, I think, in the United States.
2, 1, go! Just that feeling of like, man, it's like one big team, but it's like thousands of us.
And so the marathon's just kind of like the exclamation mark on Oklahoma City.
It just has become a celebration of life.
You have to see the joy, the love, everything positive in something to get through it.
Run to Remember, presented by Devon Energy.
I'm Carl Torp.
And I'm Amanda Taylor. We are outside the Oklahoma City National Memorial. 18,000 runners from every state in the U.S., also from a dozen other countries, will be here just 6 days from now for the Run to Remember.
This is the 23rd Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, a chance to support the memorial and museum dedicated to the victims, survivors, and first responders from April 19th, 1995. It is also, though, a celebration of life and how far our city has come.
We come here to remember those who were killed, those who survived, and those changed forever. May all who leave here know the impact of violence. May this memorial offer comfort, strength, peace, hope, and serenity.
Those words, the mission of the Oklahoma City National Memorial, read each year before the start of the Memorial Marathon. This year, John Kennedy will be saying them. He's also one of the people who helped write them.
We sat in a pretty small room for about 3 days and considered every word in that mission statement, some of them literally for hours, and we came up with a consensus for that mission statement.
It's followed by 168 seconds of silence.
Looking at the look of their faces and seeing that they're really thinking about why they're here, why they're running, coming together, which is how we came together right after this tragedy.
Everything about the race is to honor that mission.
And a lot of these family members I know have kids or grandkids running in their honor.
Even the marathon itself is symbolic.
It's a grind. It's very much like the lives these families have lived, and it's very reflective of what our community has gone through.
As friends, neighbors, perfect strangers line the course to cheer or hand out water or volunteer in some way.
But that's where it's so reflective of back to the 1995 when the city came together. And there were no city boundaries, there was no turnpike bridging us in Tulsa. We were just Oklahomans. That's where the Oklahoma Standard was built and really created. The world stopped and watched how we treat each other.
This year, News 9 is proud to bring that all to you.
A partnership with the Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon and Oklahoma's own News 9.
It's something that we want people to remember and to honor the families and those affected. And I think the marathon's a great way of doing it. It's just one of those events that we need to be part of.
You remember each one.
It's Oklahoma City's biggest weekend, rising up out of our biggest tragedy.
We spent a lot of time talking about the word hope because to many people 28 years ago, there wasn't a lot of hope.
A celebration of life and how far the city has come since these words were written.
And then when you get to the finish line, 9 times out of 10, your medal is put over your neck by a family member, a survivor, a first responder, or someone who has contributed greatly to this community that's ready to celebrate what you've accomplished.
As the runners count down to the start of the race here, the mission behind the marathon surrounds them. Runners and spectators will see the banners with all 168 victims' names on Classen Boulevard from Belle Isle to Northwest 18th Street and along both sides of Lincoln Boulevard from 4th to 18th Street. Crews from OG&E hung the banners about a month before the race, including one for Susan Jane Farrell.
My sister is Susan Jane Farrell, and she was a lawyer for the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
The Easter Sunday when this picture was taken back in 1995 was the last big family gathering before Susie Farrell was killed in the bombing.
The bombing will always be part of our family story.
That same picture now on the mantle over the fireplace in Susie's home.
She loved this neighborhood. Yeah. And all the people here.
Where her family gathers every spring, the night before the Memorial Marathon, for a big pasta dinner.
We get together every year and it just has become a celebration of life, a celebration of our family, how much we've overcome, how much the state has overcome.
Adam 38, are you on the north side of the Federal Building with people buried? Building that are not moving, they're unconscious and not moving.
When the bombing happened, Susie's sister Cindy was an attorney in Chandler.
I just thought, I'm just going to drive down there and I'm going to find her. I noticed every blonde-haired woman who walked past me.
Cindy's husband, Albert, was with emergency management.
Working was the easy part. You know, going home's the hard part. Because you want to be the bearer of good news and you want to tell them you found our loved one.
But Susie didn't survive.
It's difficult to realize over the years that you have events that occur in your life that there's a very important person that is never able to be there, a part of it. And that's just a reality that Rachel and I have had to grow up with.
The family never misses an April 19th remembrance ceremony.
Susan Jane Farrell.
And they never miss a memorial marathon.
We have embraced it. We love it. It brings us joy.
One of the most meaningful parts of the whole weekend is the start line when they have 168 seconds of silence. When no matter how many thousands and thousands of people are out there, it gets completely silent. And you remember why you're there.
At one point or another, everyone in the family has run in the race.
This wording, celebrate life, the beauty and the pain, is something that Susie wrote.
Including Susie's parents.
I thought that would be a snap. But when that was finished, I sat down and I thought, that's not good enough.
That's not a good idea.
The last time her dad ran, he was 85 years old.
I guess I was the only one that ran in the 75 to 99 year class.
You beat the 92-year-old?
I beat him by half an hour.
Now the finish line.
Memory boards from all those past races.
I ran the half marathon and I finished it, and the first face I saw was my grandpa handing out medals.
Are always on display for that pre-race pasta party.
I know it's important for you to be involved in this and to go out and support it, but why is it also important for you to actually run it?
It's something that we can actually physically do to remember people.
I think we can do it.
In recent years, the family had this banner made to put up in Edgemere Park on race day. And Susie's parents now cheer on the runners.
Every year, no matter how we participate, we're always going to be there.
I think Susie would be so happy about what we're doing. She would be so happy that we're celebrating her and each other.
Still to come, we'll take you behind the scenes of what it takes to put on an event this size every year. Plus how one volunteer says this race is helping him heal.